Welcome everyone.
Look this camera.
Pardon. Great to see you. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, everyone. What a wonderful opportunity to have the closest, the nearest, dearest people for this momentous day. And Jyoti, my sister, me, Prakash, we can't thank you enough. And of course, there's a whole series of program sessions. But very briefly, it's really a privilege to have all of you here. The book is about hope, about trials and tribulations, about resilience, about belief, many things which we look forward to with Perizad launching. In terms of the process, the program, some housekeeping, there is a first session where we have the privilege that the guest of honor, Perry, who's a very dear friend, gets a chance to we'll chat with my father. And then it follows with a session which has 4 people in a panel. And then there's another session with 5 people. And don't start getting worried. Each one is going to talk for about 2 minutes each. So it will not bore you, and I'm sure it will be worth your patient listening. And after that, there is a question and answer session with my father, and then a small thank you to follow. So we should be, I think, within about an hour or so, all put together. So without much ado, I'd like to invite both my father and Perry on stage. It's a pleasure to welcome Perry. She's a special friend. As you all know, she's an actor, but she's also an exceptionally successful entrepreneur. A woman of resilience, grace. She has taken her father's business forward and carries the Zorabian legacy with grit, elegance, and elan. A lot of that which reflects in the way my father also has lived his life. So please join me in welcoming Perizad.
Hi everyone, good morning, and thank you so much for coming here and being with us, part of this special occasion. I'd like to say that by writing this memoir, my father has put another feather in his cap, and the entire process of writing the book, he always said that my mother was extraordinary. But I must say that my father is also an extraordinary man. With this, I think now, Perry, please, you can take over.
Thank you, Jyoti, and thank you, Prakash. I'm going to just step up just to say good morning to everybody. Good morning, guys. I've just been made a hero as guest of honor. But the reality of the situation is I'm honored to be here with this incredible man that all of you, and I think most of you, have had the good fortune to know very, very intimately and very, very well. I'm meeting him for the first time. But over the last 1.5 days, I think I've spent enough time reading a summary, then flipping through the book. And all I could think of, and I'm blessed with a great husband, but all I could think of is, at the end of the day, will Baman write about me like that? Really, we need to figure out, will he write a book like that about me, right? And we spent a good hour yesterday talking about Mr. Thakur, and with Prakash and Urvashi and Alisha. And at the end of that 1 hour, I hoped my children would talk about me in the same light, with the same love. So he set like huge goals in my heart, right? At 1:30 in the morning, I'm reading through the first chapter, and this is such a special book, and I can't wait for all of you to read it. It's just so beautifully and honestly written, so it's going to be really, really special. Okay. Like Prakash said, we have a lot of sections. I have to behave myself and limit myself to 12 minutes. And that's going to be a tough task. But I've already proclaimed my love for him. And he said, shh, किसी को बोलना नहीं है. So forgive me if I gush too much, but really, this is a story that kind of really has all our hearts melting. So, Mr. Thakur, I don't have too many questions. I have 5 questions. No, I can't. We discussed that also. What should I call you? And I said, impossible. I'm going to call him Mr. Thakur. So, in terms of the first question, right? What made you write the book, and why the name Boundless?
There was no intention to write a book. I'm not a writer, I'm an engineer. All my life I've written only commercial correspondence, technical, PowerPoint. It so happened that Raj was very, very active, and out of the blue she got stuck with what is something neurological condition for which even today all over the world there's no known cause, no known treatment, and practicing doctors know nothing about it. So 3-4 times she got admitted to ICU. This is a 100% fatal condition. Some patients last for 6 months, some for 6 years. The longest that somebody has lasted is Stephen Hawkins, who lasted many, many years. But so doctors don't know anything, and in the ICUs she always used to come back worse than the way she was admitted. So last 3 months we actually made an ICU in our bedroom, with all the monitors and power backup. And the maid and the nurse engaged, they used to go to sleep. So I had to keep awake almost 3 months without a break. Early morning, Roshi used to come and relieve me for a couple of hours. You used to keep her nap. So to keep myself awake, I used to just jot down whatever came to my mind, just to keep awake. So it was not intended to become a book, it was just intended to keep me awake. And later Jyoti saw this on my laptop and she asked me to arrange it chronologically, which I did, taking one para from here, putting it there. And then she shared with a friend of hers who happens to be a PhD in editing in Ahmedabad. And that lady, she said that it could be converted into a book provided its length is reduced to half. And she helped actually, Atula Ahuja. And then Crossword came into picture, Prakash and Jyoti took it in, and they said they could publish it. This is how it came up, It was never intended to be published as a book. And,
so these were all notes that he would write. The lights were off in the dark, and with just the light from his laptop, he would write every single night, just memories and the best times with your wife, right? You had the best times with your wife.
Yes.
That's what you were writing.
Yeah, actually, she was an exceptional woman, very outstanding. People know me, but I'm nothing compared to what she was, the kind of things she did. It was a very kind of unusual bond right from day one. I just want to share with you that we had not seen each other's photograph also before we got
Yeah,
in.
their love story has the most unusual beginnings.
So,
are you going to say the love story? Are you going to tell them how you met her?
It was like love before first sight. So, and the understanding that we developed was kind of, I'm probably exaggerating, but if I committed a murder, she wouldn't ask me why did you do it. She'd say, what can I do for you? That's the kind of,
How sweet is that? I think that deserves a huge applause, right? So I found this fascinating. I'm sure most of you know this, right? But he didn't ever meet his wife. He was working in a plant in the back of the beyond, where really far away from civilization. There was a car that broke down. He helped someone fix a car, and it was hot, it was, and the gentleman whose car he fixed was so grateful to him, called him over, got to know him a little better, and the next thing you know, he offers his only daughter's hand in marriage to this man. Okay? I mean, I've heard love stories, but this could be like a super duper Hindi movie, right? And if it wasn't, what makes it even more amazing is that the daughter has not seen him. Neither of them have seen each other's pictures. Imagine getting married like that. And Raj just listened to her parents and said yes, and that's how they got married, right? Because she trusted her elders. Of course, there's a beautiful bit in this book where there are letters between the two of them, where he actually apologizes to her and said, listen, in case I've shortchanged you because you haven't seen my picture or whatever, you know, he apologized for that. It is the most romantic, you know, letter that you've written to her, and it's something I urge all of you to read. But as her reply was, my lifetime companion, right? That's how she addressed you already.
Actually, my brother, elder brother sitting here, he would vouch for it that, sorry, he would vouch for it that how he got married on 17th July and we got engaged on 29th July within 12 days.
Right.
And my bhabhi and my brother, they would vouch for it that we have not had any time to even talk to each other or see each other's photographs, and Raj's brother is sitting there. So, and it was exceptional in the sense that we never tried to change each other. We accepted each other as we were, unconditionally. You know, I think, I mean, I have read quite a lot about how to define love. I think many philosophers also are not able to really put their hands around to define something. It's something that, I mean, it's a feeling that you experience, and I think it starts with the complete lack of ego. I think love and ego can't stay together. So that's what it was. You know, there was no ego. Whatever she was mine. Whatever I was hers.
And she's someone who stood by you through thick and thin. What was the kind of strength? Because she saw you rise into the stratosphere of, you know, unbelievable success. And then she saw you kind of, you know, taking, you know, the setbacks as well. So what was she like as a spouse? And, you know, great advice for all of us in terms of, you know, standing by you through thick and thin.
We came more and more close to each other because I never had to say, or she never had to say to me, do this or don't do this. Kind of, because whatever you do is good, whatever I do is good. She did a lot of more, I think, worthwhile things in her life than I did. They were less known, but I mean, I think they were a lot more important, like starting going to slums. Yeah, sorry, I'm not used to speaking on this. So actually I was told that Pevja, this was very brilliant in her school and college. So I was expecting very difficult questions to be put up to me. So
you know, there were difficult questions. There were difficult questions, but I simplified it because I think the beauty of your stories is in its simplicity.
Thank you. So this is the way it kind of happened. It just happened. We didn't have to make any effort to make it happen.
Can I also share with you that the initial wife. Of course, the publisher said no, you cannot have that name, but that's the man that he is, right? And I think he deserves a huge round of applause. Of enterprise, and it's a story of resilience, right? So let's move to the enterprise aspect of it, because with the other sessions there are lots of things about him that all of you are going to discover. So about enterprise, you know, I'm sure all of you know the story, and for those who don't, please hear it from me because he will understate it, okay? 75,000 rupees from his Provident Fund account, and he started this company and grew it to $750 million available in 50 countries. and was invited to the White House for the incredible work he's done, and was 300 of the richest Indians because for just net value of his company. And that's what this man has created in his lifetime. Whilst most of us, entrepreneurs have a huge problem in kind of letting go and handing over, he, handed over the company to professionals at the age of 68. And of course, there were a lot of setbacks that followed, a lot of really tough times that the company faced. And at 72, right? Did I get that right? He got back into the ring to straighten up everything, right? And from 70 to 82, he's got the entire thing back up together, doing it in a completely new way. And I think that is incredible, right? So I want to ask you, you've seen nothing, you've seen this, you've seen that, and you've been able to change the game in a completely new environment. What are your lessons for all the entrepreneurs out here? Yes.
The 3 points.
He has no patience. That's one negative I have just discovered.
One is the title. I was very keen on retaining that title, but when the Crossword, their experts decide, they said that.
Oh, he's still talking about his wife. I have moved to another thing. Yes, sorry.
So they said that the story basically has got 3 aspects. There is abundance of love, a lot of enterprise, a lot of infinite resilience. So these are the 3 things, boundless love, boundless enterprise, boundless resilience. So they picked the title and I liked it. And then the designer of the cover, she said, sky is boundless. Therefore the blue sky and the 2 words are togetherness. So that's how they do. And we all liked it. Coming to enterprise, I think there are many people much more enterprising than I have been. It's the fact that I started my life in Bombay on 300 rupees a month after graduation in engineering. Local train ke dhakke, PSV buses ke queues mein. But a lot of that is long ago. I had a lot of support. And one thing that I think I was maybe a little stupid in the sense that many times I didn't realize the consequences and just went forward. You call it enterprise or you call it madness, but that's the way it was. And when it comes to resilience, I'm not really alone. At this age, both Jyoti, Prakash, and not only they, but their children also have stood up and supported me. So that kind of is an encouragement, to go forward. And fortunately, I think he's given me reasonably good health. So, and I really don't know anything else other than running this company.
So Prakash has warned me that he's very understated, right? So, he's gonna, everything you say, he's gonna say, no, nothing, it's okay. But what he's achieved is remarkable, right? And I think what's even more achievable is that not only are his children working with him, but his grandchildren are working with him, right? So first I want to ask you 2 things. The way you are as a boss with your children, are you tough or lenient? Is he tough or lenient?
Actually,
I would just say that the example he sets is just the way he operates. He completely leaves you to do as much as you can. So in a way, the example is just so high. So I honestly look at it. There's an Amitabh Bachchan and there's an Abhishek Bachchan. So there's no way.
Prakash, we all feel that, right? Having a father a lot like yours, I know the feeling.
The good part is, therefore I have an Aishwarya Rai. She's like,
so where are the grandkids? Alicia has been amazing. She's been working till like 1:30 in the morning. Are you a lenient boss to your children or your grandchildren? Are the rules different is what I want to ask you?
You see, I don't remember any time in my life when I told them to do this or not to do that. You know, like kind of.
I need a course in parenting from this man. Okay, like big time parenting. My children will thank you. I'm gonna have dinner with you, you and me, one-on-one. Okay, to make this happen. My kids will be delighted. So no rules for either of the two.
No.
Okay.
See, I'll tell you what. My father passed away when I was 5 years old, and 6 months later, the partition of the country took place, and my mother, who became a widow, and we were 10 brothers and sisters. So we migrated, and so they had no time to kind of tell their children what to do, what not to do. So nobody ever controlled me, and I don't know how to control others.
I have Pawan's best friend Monty sitting in front smiling. Said, "Eriko, kuch to dimag mein jayega ki nahi?" Let's see if that happens. Okay, so the last question on enterprise. Okay, what would be your 5 core values that you think are important to have great work ethic? 5 core values for great work ethic. You know, as an entrepreneur, what is it that you need to take the hits, to take the setback? What is it that you've learned?
One thing that helps in a big way is have a positive attitude. You know, like if you think things are going to go wrong, there's a good chance that they will go wrong. You know, like if you think positive, there's a less chance of things going wrong. The other thing I would say is, I think any endeavor needs a lot of patience. You know, you see, you are not defeated till you have given up. So you need persistence, patience, and
A positive attitude and never giving up.
never giving up, and be patient about, you know, like
Right.
perseverance.
You know, and that leads to the last part on resilience, right? On resilience. Now, in resilience, you've shown resilience professionally as well as personally. You know, right through Raj's entire illness, right? And your son told me that my dad, I said, you know, what's he like, you know, in terms of at work when he's facing adversity? And he said, Parizar, he's so calm. He can go into a storm with absolute calm. And even if it's a fire and everyone's screaming and shouting and losing their cool, he has the ability to calm everyone down. What is your secret with that?
I think it's worked I worked for about 13 years in government, atomic energy, and engineers India, and I was lucky to come across exceptional people. You know, I remember we were building a nuclear power plant in Rajasthan, and a day before the dome was to be cast in concrete, the shuttering took fire. And the chief engineer, my friend Mahendra, who is here, you know, he was my colleague. You know, he would recall that the chief came and he didn't go personally here, there, you know, shouting out, why did you do this, why did you do that? No, he just only looked at it, went to his office, wrote a report. Next day we were back in action. You know, I was lucky to come in contact with people like Professor M.G.K. Menon, who was director DIFR Tata Institute. He became principal scientific advisor to Government of India, to Prime Minister. And these are all exceptional human beings, very competent also, and they could really inspire you to kind of, you know, like get on with the job, rather than brood over what happened, what did not happen, why it happened, and all. And I think that's the best way to go about it. You know, it saves you a lot of time and energy. So that's it.
You know, what about personal resilience? I'm going to just read a few lines from the book. It was 1:30 a.m. on May 17th, 2019, that my whole world came crashing down. Choked voices, whispers and tears filled the house. All the family members huddled together and stood there in silence, trying to grasp the enormity of the situation. Then, seeing me gazing at her face, stunned, they had the good sense to leave me alone. My life source gone. I felt empty as I sat behind her, as I sat beside her. Her face was gleaming with peace. She was beautiful in her death as well. Yesterday at this time, I had leaned over her face. Her eyes had a faint smile. 24 hours later, those eyes were closed and shutting me out. I rose slowly, kissed her forehead to say farewell. For me, it was the end of an era, the era of Raj. She left me at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, and I sat there holding her hand, not knowing how the world would be for me without her. Now, it was time to let go of her hand and set her spirit free. I think that summarizes his love for Raj. How does one, or how have you dealt with the loss of Raj?
And I mean, tell you the truth, I have not dealt with it, even now. I mean, she's inside me. I can't sort of, like, give up everything else that I have to do for the rest of the family, the company. But at every moment, she's with me. That's the way. I mean, if you ask me how I coped up, I haven't. I haven't. She's still there. Let me. Can I take 2 minutes
Please,
to
it's
tell
your
you,
day.
like, kind of one of the things that she did. You see, we moved into Lokhandwala complex in 1980. It was all slums and nothing at all. And she was going along, on the road, and there were children, small little slum children, fighting, abusing. And she set them apart and told them, sit down, I'll tell you a story. And after half an hour, she wanted to go, and the kids said, Auntie, thoda aur batao. She said, this time I'll tell you more. And they did. 3, 4. Anu Gehani must be here. Her mother was my wife's friend, and they were together, Anu's mother. And so children came, and slum dwellers, they thought these women are going to kidnap our kids. And they said, no, it's not our intention. And the parents said, okay, then come and teach them in our jats, jhonpade mein aake padhao. So they started doing that, Then neighboring kids in the slums, auntie, hamare bachon ko bhi, hamare bachon ko bhi. So it became like 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to, like whole day. And it became a school in slums, And from 84 to 94, 95, the first batch went to SSC. And these women will go to junior college principals, beg of them, plead with them to give admission. And these kids, many of them graduated and made good their lives. And so these are the kind of things she had to do. And just tell you one instance, about 8, 9 months back, somebody called me from Arizona saying I'm so-and-so, and I just learned that Didi passed away, and I'm a product of that school. I did engineering, I did PhD, I'm teaching in Arizona,
So her work lives on forever, and she lives on forever.
what more? So if you tell me that I have done a lot of it in my life, it's nothing as compared to.
And she lives on forever with you. So that's what Prakash said. He says, for dad, dad's taken it with a great sense of balance. And he says, for dad, she's around, she's a part of him every single day and every single minute. And she's here celebrating with us, and that's the most amazing thing. Because guess what? It just happens to be his 83rd birthday today, right? And I think what better way to celebrate this extraordinary man, who I think is a superhero, than launching this beautiful book. And I think I would request his children, Jyoti and Prakash, to please come on stage and do the honors. Please. Can we all have a book each? There's going to be a big celebration later on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Perry, we are privileged between the two of you if you can open the book. Let me help with that.
What an emotional moment for all of them. I think we should give them a huge round of applause, right? There it is, ladies and gentlemen, Boundless by Mr. Thakur. Love, enterprise, resilience. And you can give him a standing ovation because I think at 83 he deserves that, right? Can you smile? A big smile. Thank you. You guys have to read this book, and I'm not just saying it because I'm standing on a stage.
Yeah.
It really is truly special.
Yeah.
We have a lot of interesting sessions coming up with friends
Yeah.
and family. We're going to do one picture, and
Yeah.
then I hope
So-
I stayed in my timeline. I could have gone on and on.
We would have loved for you to continue. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Perry,
We have a date. We have a dinner. Okay, lots of love. Thank you.
Perry, before you leave the stage, um, we can't thank you enough. Even though I know you said it's all about him, but it is amazing the way, with the patience, the time that you gave us before this. It takes a lot. You went through everything, and it has led to, even for us, seeing some new elements of, what we know about his life and mom's life, and that stays in the heart, from
So
us.
can I just add? So my mom's not well, and I'm going through a little tough time with that. This has brought me joy, real joy. So thank you
It's-
for that. Yeah,
You know,
thank you.
Thank you. In fact, and may
And
I,
your dad and me have a dinner date. So I don't know about all of
Fabulous.
y'all, but we're
And-
celebrating later. Yeah.
and may I ask Alicia to thank you.
Give my husband lots of advice, and my children, and me as well. Huh? No,
I-
you have to give us lots of advice.
And-
Yeah. Yeah.
And I must say that, please do thank Baman and equally Monty. I know it was thanks to him also that I know you are, a complete sweetheart, but we are so appreciative. Alicia would like to give you a token of
Best, I
appreciation.
mean, the most amazing granddaughter, really. What a great kid. And so bright. Everything I said was summarized beautifully at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. I shook the book, and there was a WhatsApp from her with a detailed structure from beginning to end. Incredible. I'm so proud of you. I want my daughter to grow up to be you.
Wonderful. And a small token of it. Yeah. Come on stage also. One.
You know, the book
Be
is
with
actually
Dadu.
the greatest gift.
Oh, there. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Wonderful.
I have taken up a lot of airspace. I'm so sorry about
No,
that.
on the
but,
contrary.
thank you. And see you soon.
This
Yeah.
could have gone on as long as you're comfortable, and then please feel free. I know you have a lot of things plus your
I
mum,
want my book back.
the one with the. Yes.
Yeah. I want it back.
All
Thank
right.
you. God bless.
All right.
You can't leave the stage. You can't leave the stage. Next session.
happens, but every time I read that, it just brings tears. It is something that just, we lived through that. We were together at that point. And I want to add one more, example of what all of us have seen in different ways. Um, she was in that phase. It would have maybe a few months before that night. And we were going through such a lot at work. We didn't know in the morning what would come at us. And there was, 18 different forces pulling every direction. And I went to her, and I was sitting next to her one afternoon, and she tried to signal. The body had no ability to take instructions of the mind. The mind was 100% all through alert. So there was a page which has A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, like that. So letter by letter, I said, Mama, tell me what you want to say. And it started with an A, then an R, and an E. So you can imagine the tediousness for her. And she had to blink and I'd go wrong and then again correct. And her question was, are you happy? I can't tell you, I mean, somebody in that stage, all she had was, are her kids happy? So, So yeah, I think we are here to celebrate. I understand that. All of us, have had various parts of, our life. You all have, each one of you here is, we are privileged, we are blessed. These relationships have mattered the world, every which way. I see every face and I see somebody to be thankful for and grateful for. And let me come to the thanks later. But let's go on to our next panel, the second panel, which is actually a very interesting, very, very good, close group of family and friends. And it has Nikhil Chaturvedi, Kishore Mirchandani. Please come on the stage. Urvashi and Nilesh. So I'll request each one of you to please come on the stage and I'll introduce you. Is it okay? I'll continue. Or you? Yeah. Yeah, you can pass on the mics to them. So I'll start with requesting Nikhil to say a few words if you're comfortable. Nikhil is a rock star like Perry. He is the king of the world in every which way that you say. And he's so dear to us in the heart and has seen us intimately through our life, 40 years or so, thereabouts. He's a phenomenal entrepreneur, gone through his own, ups and downs in life and come out stronger. In a way, I'm so glad that, and then I'll introduce the others as they come, but I request each one of you to say a few words, whatever you think for a couple of minutes.
Thank you very much. I was under the assumption that it's an interaction, so I wasn't prepared for this. But I'll just say one thing. I have known Uncle and the entire family for now more than 40 years. There are millions of learning. I think everyone has spoken about love and enterprise, but that is what is visible to the entire world. I have been through with Uncle and Prakash through the last 7 or 8 years more closely, where they say a man's character is to be seen in crisis, and I have seen it so closely. There's a lesson I have learnt, and it actually makes me emotional because sometimes it's like saying when you see someone and you get up in the morning and you say, wow, can he do that? And people say that you're a great guy, but no, I'm telling you especially for uncle, the dedication, the determination, and the perseverance, the 3 words DDP, I learned from him in the last 7 years. And I promise you one thing, I have not been anywhere close to that. His sense of enterprise and everything, but being able to believe that you can turn it around is unreal. It's the most phenomenal thing I've seen in my life. And uncle, thank you very much for that lesson. So the last word in that book, the resilience, I can vouch for that, that no one can touch that.
Thank you, Nikhil. We also know how much resilience you have, and it is, amazing. I learn from you every day. Um, Kishore is my mama. He's 14 years younger than my mom. So it's like a different generation. And then there are 2 more. Sanjay is here in the audience. Blessed that Sanjay, you're here. So Sanjay is about 4 or 5 years older than me. So it's a relationship which is more like I don't say Mama, Sanjay Mama or Kishore Mama. They're addressed by their first name. And Kishore and then Vijay, unfortunately, is traveling. My second Mama and then Sanjay. And all 3 have been my ideals or idols. They can, the maturity, the level of, sincerity, hard work, and they come with an element which is, like I have a perfect combination of the Mirchandani, Kishore, Sanjay, Vijay, and the Thakur. I'm blessed to have both streams. The Mirchandanis are, they love life. They are all fabulous singers. They actually, when Kishore, Vijay, Sanjay are there, you don't have to do anything. The house will be a riot and it'll be wonderful. And so, again, very, very successful. Gone through their own cycle of professional, cycles, but doing exceptionally well in the real estate business. Kishore, I'll request, but this is of course about the book and about Mummy and Papa. So please do share a few words.
So I was very, very close to my sister, and we had a very different kind of relationship. So, 2 lines मेरी sister के लिए, तो क्या हुआ जो चले गए अब नहीं मिल सकते हमसे, तो क्या हुआ जो चले गए अब नहीं मिल सकते हमसे, मिला तो रब भी नहीं पर इबादत कहाँ रुकी हमसे. So love continues. मोहब्बत ठाकुर साहब की जारी है, and मोहब्बत as a brother हमारी भी continue है, in spite of her not being around, but we feel she's around. Now there is a theory of magnetism. Opposite attract each other, right? So my brother-in-law, Mr. Thakur, and my sister, they were opposite each other in many ways, but they loved each other. One of the very prominent thing that you would come across is his memory power. Exceptionally memory power. You wouldn't believe. You are reading a newspaper. I am also reading a newspaper, and I'll say somebody got a gold, and in Olympics, and he would say it was a long jump, 30 meters. Name is Anubhav Sinha. I would say, how do you remember? We both read the paper in the morning. So exceptionally, and then his retention of keeping the letters, writing, photographs, probably, I think probably 10 years old, and he has some of the other papers coming out that I kept it, what I wrote to my friend in 50s and 60s. That's amazing. And my sister, memory was whatever you can say, but she was epitome of love. Her house, means their house, was welcoming all kinds of guests, relatives, for educational purpose, for medicational purpose, but she would welcome all, absolutely, like the house was open to all. And Prakash and Jyoti can vouch for it. they would come down and they would find one of the relative or friend living downstairs. That kind of thing. And she would be all there. She was a mother figure to me, obviously. And she would give all kind of advices. And I've written 4 liners for her, 4 lines for her. जब तकलीफों से मैं गुजरूं, जब तकलीफों से मैं गुजरूं, तो दर्द उसे भी होता था. जब तकलीफों से मैं गुजरूं, तो दर्द उसे भी होता था. मैं लाख छुपा लूं अपने गमों को, पर उसका दिल भी रोता था. माँ से ज्यादा जो करे फिक्र, ऐसा फर्ज वो निभाती थी. माँ से ज्यादा जो करे फिक्र, ऐसा फर्ज वो निभाती थी. मेरी हर सफलता पे वो फूले नहीं समाती थी. She was my sister every time, and this is penned down by me emotionally. So this is it. And we used to love having tea together twice a week. We enjoyed our tea. She was a tea lover, so am I. So we enjoyed our tea, and we had lots of talks on that. I think I'll end my sum up these things, but thank you very much. Thanks, my sister, especially.
Thank you.
This book is boundless. What you say, boundless. Absolutely, it's a boundless love and boundless residence, boundless enterprise. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Kishore. Much appreciated. Now I'll request, would you prefer between Aishwarya Rai or Amitabh Bachchan? Or
Okay, I think I will go.
okay.
So, Daddy asked me to talk about my experiences in this family. And when I, when Daddy said that this book is going to come out, I would tell people that Daddy has written a book about Mummy. And everyone, all the girls that I would talk to, they would say, wow, I wish my husband would write a book about me. And I think every woman would probably love it if their husband made such a gesture, which is, kind of immortalizes their love. So it made me think about what were the qualities in her that made this, love so special. And it is not just her. Daddy says she was extraordinary. He is equally extraordinary. So it takes 2 extraordinary people to make an extraordinary marriage. And the marriage really was one of a kind, 1 in a trillion. I don't know any other like that. So I want to just talk a little bit about her qualities and a little bit about his qualities. And if I exceed my time, then just stop me, okay? So I think Mummy was a quintessential Indian woman, Indian wife, Indian mother. The 2 qualities that she stood for and that she exemplified through her life were service and sacrifice, seva and tyag. She did not ever put forth her own individuality. There was no me in her. It was all about you, too. So everything she did was for everyone else. Her own desires or likes, dislikes, nothing mattered to her. It was all about her husband, her children, her grandchildren, everyone else except her. To the extent that we never knew what she liked to eat because she would eat everything. It was only when she was sick that once she said, and I asked her, what do you want to eat? Which was when she could still eat. She said, I want to eat quesadilla. And we used to make quesadillas at home regularly because the children liked them. But I never once realized that she liked quesadillas too. Because she never said that I like this or I like that. It was all about the other. So to that extent, I don't think anyone has been like that. I've never seen anyone like that who completely is so self-effacing and self-abnegating. And the other, I said, and so service, seva, because she did seva of everyone around her, and service and tyag, sacrifice. So she sacrificed her own individuality for the happiness of others, and that is what gave her happiness. I would like to just read out something which is in which Swami Sivananda has written about the Indian woman. And nowadays I think women, the younger generations who are getting married or who don't want to get married, it's all about their own individuality. It's about what they want, and that is not going to make your husband ever write a book for you. So, so, so I'm just reading out from this book what Swami Sivananda has said. The inspiring force of the home is woman. The home is the origin, the beginning of every form of social organization. It is the nursery of the nation. It is the sweet center wherein children are trained for future citizenship. The woman illumines the home through the glory of motherhood. Under the personal influence of the mother, good habits, right conduct, formation of character are spontaneously created in children in a well-regulated home. The loving kindness and cultured gentleness of the mother helps the children to quickly unfold their inherent talents and dormant capacities. Therefore, the home is a beautiful training ground for building up the character in children. Women are also the backbone, bedrock, and basis for sustaining religion and national strength and prosperity. There is no difference between her and Lakshmi, the goddess of beauty, grace, and prosperity. If the mother trains her children well, she is indeed rendering a great service to the nation and its national culture. There are ample opportunities for women to improve and increase national health and prosperity. They really build the nation. Mothers can use their talents and abilities to make the home a cradle of culture, character, personal ability, and religious upheaval. It is therefore wrong to say that their life is stunted by attending to the duties of the home, or that no scope is given for their evolution and freedom. This is a sad mistake indeed. The life of a woman is as noble and serious as that of a man. Of this there is no doubt. It is the woman who maintains the life and happiness of the home through her smile, tender affection, sweet speech, charming personality, grace, and angelic presence. The home would be a real void without her. Without her presence, it would lose its peculiar charm and beauty. And my mother-in-law exemplified this perfectly. If the woman is pure, she can save and purify the man and the race. Women can make the home a sacred temple. The Hindu women have been the custodians of the Hindu race. It is therefore of benefit to know what the great ones have said about the ideal of conduct and deportment that a woman should try to live up to. Sri Ram instructs Kaushalya, his mother, as follows. To a woman, so long as she is alive, the husband is indeed the Lord and God. That woman, who though noblest of all and given to the practice of vows and fasts, does not look after her husband, will indeed obtain an unmeritorious future. Even if a woman has never bowed to the gods and has ceased to worship them, she obtains the highest heaven by serving her husband. This, to me, is something which we need to teach our children, that we don't need to pray. We may pray to God, but if we're not serving our husband, we're not doing our duty, we're not doing our dharma.
Partly just to, although it sounds very good to the men here, but having said that, it should be a two-way street.
No, he's coming to that also. A woman should be absorbed in the service of her husband. This is what the scriptures have said. This is what Ramji tells Kaushalya, and we need to take from it. Okay. A woman should be absorbed in the service of her husband, taking delight in his pleasure and his good. This is the path of the dharma known for long ages, revealed in the Vedas and remembered by the world. To attend upon and to serve one's husband is no doubt the highest duty of a woman. So long as a woman lives, her husband is her only master. And to me, Mummy might have read this because she followed it to the hilt. He also talks about how the husband will also do the same for the woman. He will keep it equal, but so I'm not coming to that. Okay, these are the qualities of the woman.
Nikhil is searching for his wife now.
If you- 2
Wonderfully
minutes to
said.
talk about daddy's qualities. Okay.
Yeah.
So as I said, that daddy is equally extraordinary, a dignified yet simple man, going about his work in a spirit of absolute detachment and selflessness. His virtues are precious gems in his pure gold-like personality. He has saint-like qualities. Mummy also had saint-like qualities. A great gentleness characterizes his thought and conduct. His mind is completely free from the least trace of crookedness. There is no trace of a superiority complex in him for all that he has achieved. He feels everyone is just like him and behaves with all with freedom, equality, and care. A supreme calmness pervades his entire being, as if he has found his center and lives in it. No flurry of emotions can ruffle it under any circumstances, so that at all times he is serenity personified. Never does he utter any word in a loud tone indicative of anger or even annoyance. His nature is to note a person's need even before it is expressed, and he never refuses a request. The burning desire to see others pleased and profited animates all his actions. All his actions express his firm belief in the doctrine of living for others. He has cultivated to a most astonishing degree that rare quality of seeing only the good and the pleasant in all people and things. He has reduced almost to zero the mind's receptivity to defects and deficiencies in others. Thus, we may be wanting in a dozen different ways, but the slightest trace of any virtue that we might happen to possess becomes sufficient for him to elaborate on and sufficient to make him oblivious to the many flaws that we might have. Refusing to see even the faults of an extreme type, Daddy will then magnify tenfold the least good in a human being. A little talent, a little goodness, a little service done is enough for him to proclaim it enthusiastically to all, as though it was the most wonderful and admirable thing. On many different occasions, I too have been the embarrassed victim of his bubbling commendation, feeling all too keenly how unworthy I am of it. Those who know him will agree about another beautiful trait that one might search far and wide and yet fail to find. He instantly forgives any wrong done to him, most serious offenses even, yet cherishes forever any trifling service rendered to him directly or indirectly. One can easily tell of forgive and forget, but how seldom does one come across a personality that has made it a part of his very nature. To everyone who might have hurt him also, Daddy's reaction is one of sweet and gentle friendliness. I will end with one or two quotes from the Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 2, they talk of the man of perfection, Sthita Prajna, but I am not going to take from that chapter because that's a bit long.
And
I'm
I'll
gonna-
keep it
yeah,
to
just
the
last,
maybe
just
one.
only,
Yeah.
yeah, just from chapter 12. Okay, there are only two verses. He who is free from malice towards all beings, friendly and compassionate, rid of I and mine, balanced in joy and sorrow, forgiving by nature, ever contented. Nay, who has subdued his mind, senses, and body, has a firm resolve, and has surrendered his mind and reason to me, that devotee of mine is dear to me. Chapter 12, verse 13-14. Hari Om, thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Urvashi. So I have to say that there's been an evolution in Urvashi over these decades, of the kind that I got a glimpse of as I heard her as an audience, and I think it's wonderful to see the phases of life and the transition. So in a way, credit to everybody like that on a path. And coming back to the next speaker, Nilesh is my brother-in-law and Jyoti's husband. And I have to say that the first time I saw him, I thought he should be in the movies. And clearly, tall, handsome, sportsman, plays, captain of his cricket team, engineer, so every which way. Um, and over these years, his own calm, the demeanor, the, consistency with which he lives has, I think, made Jyoti a better person. So, Nilesh, we'd be honored if you can say a few words. And because we are a little tight on time, not to push anybody, but do, say freely whatever we can. Thank you.
I did not want to speak after Kishore's Sher or Shairi, but now I think after Urvashi, there are many qualities that I looked up, many qualities I look up to in Papa. Reminded by my wife on a daily basis. There is situation where Papa aisa karte, वैसा करते. I sometimes wonder who's Papa's mentor. He does everything right almost. On a philosophical note, resilience is the one he relates to most, I think. He's an example of the karma theory in Gita. The time to eat breakfast, leaving for office, work, keeping things simple, think logically, is everything as per the karma theory, which I think is all in sync. Going to all weddings, attending funerals, giving gifts to all. So this karma theory is Papa really follows this, and I've learned so much from him in terms of the way I almost try and do a lot of things as he does. The equation between Papa and Mummy was very, very special, magical. The way Mummy used to take care of him, admire him, and Papa's desire to make Mummy happy, taking her to movies, music shows. The way he remembers her and a smile comes to his face. Very, very happy for Papa that this book is being launched today when he's expressing everything he thought for Mummy. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilesh. I would suggest that the last panel now after this, and then we will open it up to some Q&A, and then just close with a thank you. So there's one more panel, and there is lunch, which is on the third floor after that. There's book signing, of course, which will happen here. So may I request the last panel. Anuradha, I can't see. Anu is around? Come. Also, anywhere, Kiran, Deepu, Priya, Anu and Pragati. You want to introduce them? Acha. So while they're just seated, one other thing which stays with me even now with mom, and a lot of people have talked about that. There's been always in all our lives, for our, we have parents and we turn to them, and I would, father-daughter connection and then mother-son is oftentimes, the stronger connection. And in that way, if I had something to despair or something to, be troubled about, and if I would confide in her, the sort of one thing that still comes back to me first that mummy would say, that, you just go on to the streets and you will see, so much trouble that people have. Somebody is physically disabled, somebody doesn't have a home, somebody is, getting abused, and then look at yourself and you would be very thankful. So it keeps coming back. So I think, we remember her in many, many wonderful ways. Let's start this session with Kiran. These are, people who are very familiar with the book, most of the panelists. And Kiran is my chacha's daughter-in-law, my first cousin Ajay, his wife. And she's an educationalist by profession. She is a director with an HKH public school, which is in Ajmer. And they have nearly 1,500 students. So she's a very, very strong professional in that light. So may I request Kiran, you can start, and then we can go to Deepu, and then Priya, Anuradha, and Pragati.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you, Kani uncle, for making this event possible. I am so grateful being a part of this event. Having read this book, I have jotted down few points what I have felt about the book. Boundless, as the name suggests, is a story about unlimited possibilities in life. It is a story of a husband and a wife who got married through a typical situation of arrangement between two families, but created an extraordinary bond which is difficult to be expressed in words. It is a story about an ordinary boy who belonged to an ordinary family, which even in difficult times nurtured him with so much love and affection that it gave him courage to attain higher goals in life. It's about an intellectual whose best friends have been books. The books that he has read, the people that he has met, the experiences that he's had have made him the passionate, positive, and resilient person that he is. Uncle's fondness for reading is so evident in his book. He has mentioned so many of his favorite poems, books, and one of the stories, it is a very short one. It has made us very special. It has affected my mind a lot. It has stayed with me. So I would narrate that story to you in a gist. It's a story about a conversation between a pakdandi, a peepal tree, and a well. The gist of the story is that everyone has a purpose in life. If you get enlightened with yours, then you are the chosen one from God. To attain that purpose, one has to follow a certain path. If you deviate from that path, you disrespect God. I feel Uncle and Raj Auntie both have found their purpose. Your love and devotion for each other is one thing, but your dedication towards your work and hers towards serving the underprivileged is truly inspiring for many. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran. May I request Deepa Vanjani. She's a doctor, Deepa Vanjani. She's a PhD. My bua's daughter, my father's sister's daughter. She heads the English department at Devi Ahilya Vishwa Vidyalaya, and she's also a freelance journalist, a writer, translator, editor, social and animal rights activist. So she's come especially from Indore for the day. So thank you, Deepu. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prakash. And a very good afternoon to everyone. And a huge, huge word of congratulations to Kani Uncle for this incredible success, bringing out and publishing a book. It's when you write and you know what it means to publish a book, you know the value of having your name printed on the cover of the book. And when you see it being released, it's next level. So I think, Uncle, you deserve a huge, huge round of applause here. You know, the growing up years, when you watch somebody in that old model of Fiat, which used to be there in the 1970s when we were in Bhopal, and he's a very good singer. He sings beautifully, Talat Mahmood songs, and I have grown up listening to those songs. Jalte hain jiske liye teri aankhon ke diye. He sings it very, very beautifully. And then songs from Chitchor, when he used to drive, when we used to go out for films, and then he used to be driving the car. And on the back seat, we used to be listening to what he's singing, and it was such a delight. And tell you, I mean, I've never said this to him, he resembled Sunil Dutt. Many people would have told him, yes, he did resemble Sunil Dutt, and Raj Auntie was incredibly beautiful, and she had wow saris. Even as a kid, I remember when Jyoti and I used to play Ghar Ghar, and in those Ghar Ghar stories, we used to take out saris, Raj Auntie ki saris from her cupboard, and one was exceptionally pretty. It was a lavender color zari patta sari. And imagine I'm playing the bai, and Jyoti is playing the mother, and the bai is draping that zari patti ki sari, and auntie, when she came out and she saw us wearing the sari, she said, "You want 2 saris for yourself? You can have 2 saris. To keep, aur usko abhi hari khel mein use karna." So, I wonder if Jyoti remembers this, but these, these little things that you grow up with, these are very small things. But when you imbibe them, you know how ingrained they become into your memory, and how your elders are teaching you so many things, like giving away. It's such a simple gesture, but then giving away without questioning. And lovely saris, saris she used to wear. So that was what auntie was, beautiful that she was enchanting. Coming to the book, resilience, if you see the word resilience there, the first generation partition family, they've actually, this family, my Nani's family, has seen the partition. So you see how the narrative builds up that part of the partition, where you can see Nanaji's passed away at a very early age. Nani is struggling to get the family back safely to India. How the train is boarded, how they finally reach Ajmer, how they stay on the railway platform as refugees. But all Sindhis have been very resilient that way. They hate the word refugee. So we don't want this tag of being a refugee. And that spirit, I think, to fight on, to have your own identity, that went into the family, and uncle has truly stood up for that. And you can see that resilience reflected in his work ethics, in the way he has upheld those values within the family, in the professional domain. It's everywhere. So I think resilience here is a very strong word. The emotional flow in the book, of course, when you read of this beautiful love story that they share, uncle and auntie, Raj auntie, and how the courtship happened, and how they would go on drives, what were the songs they would listen to. Coincidentally, when the book was being written, sometimes uncle used to mail, and we used to share some chapters. He even at a very nascent stage, he used to mail those portions, and then it was lovely reading them. So the first memory of the book comes from those mails. He is such a well-planned man, that meticulous person that he is. If nobody knows this, he will have black and white pictures, I don't know of which decade. He will have them scanned and mailed to you. So I just go through the mails, and K.R. Thakur, if you type in, so all the mails that he sent me, they'll just open, and you'll find attached lovely pictures, Ajmer pictures, growing up pictures of the family. So you can see your Masi, your mamas, young mummy. And so that is the kind of, atmosphere that this family has had. And this is what uncle and auntie have truly stood up to. So you have imbibed the values, imbibe what is right, look at things in the right perspective in a balanced way. So the book is a journey, and boundless that it is, it truly resonates the spirit of the boundless person that he is. Thank you for making me a part of this event.
Thank you, Deepu. Deepu herself is an author, so she knows inside out what it takes. May I request Priya? Priya is the one who has been a strong part of the build towards the publishing of the book in various ways. She's a book editor, author, coach, a literary agent. She has a firm by the name Editors Atelier. Is that correct? So may I request you a few words? Just in the interest of time, if each one of you can keep it to 2 minutes. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you so much, first of all, sir, Jyoti and Prakash, to have me here. It is a privilege, sir, to be here, and I'm very, very glad that I worked on the book. I have to quickly first, ask a question to all of you guys. Assuming there are like 10,000 books easily in this bookstore, just give me a raise of hands. The question is, how many books you've seen where the whole family has come together to launch it, to be a part of it? That's the first thing I have to say, sir. I work on many, many books, many, many authors. Each story is different, like you can imagine. but this is unique for two ways. One is that I have never seen a whole family come together supporting the whole process. And writing a book, like you will know, you will also know, it's definitely a process. There is no 1+1 to it, and Sir has just put his heart and soul in it. And I can imagine anybody who's already read it, anybody who's going to read it, I can bet you that you guys will have teary eyes. The ones who've already read, I'm sure, because even when I read it multiple times, I felt the same emotion again and again. And I was telling my husband that, you know, if boys of our generation had half the charm that Sir carries so effortlessly, it would be one thing, because he is really a gentleman and it's very, very rare. And I was telling Sir the first time we were reading the script that even for millennials, it's really like, you know, a dream come true, that there is a relationship. The love is so, so strong. And for that, you know, like you guys, you're right, you know, Jyoti has, I have to say, supported you so immensely. And it's so good to see a daughter want her father to go through this, you know, whole process, because it's not hard. I see a lot of authors struggling to write. And I think, you know, it's a different milestone, I have to say. Like, I would say, write many, many more books. So just one last thing, that, you know, when first Ayushi introduced me to the project, it has been 1 year now, and I have to say that every book is different, and the way that Sir has, the unique thing is, it's simple. Usually we have to, you know, help authors define their ideas and make them compelling and credible. Here the thing is, the story was literally driving itself. Our work was, in that sense, like my work was like very minimal, because I could see the story was so strong. You really had very less work to do, and I would say, please, please read this book. It's an amazing book. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Priya. May I request Anuradha? Anu has been, part of Jyoti Structures for the last 35 years. So, any words of gratitude that she has had this longer time, with us. So she is a part of the family. She works very closely, and supports my father and now the rest of us as well, very, very ably. So, Anu, may I request you 2 minutes, and then Pragati, sorry, we'll try to keep it brief.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the esteemed guests, I have a long standing association with Jyoti Structures Limited as an employee since 1990, and I'm proud to be a member of JSL family, as we call it, due to its unique culture. Mr. Thakur's book Boundless reflects his journey of the couple together for more than 50 years. I will say a few words about the chapter 8 in the book, Raj, the essence of togetherness. One can really appreciate the shades of warmth, love, help, care, sensitivity, availability, and always a giving and whenever giving hand whenever and wherever needed by someone. Building relationship is the core trait of the couple all through their life, whether it is whether it is official, personal, or any other situation. They become the support system for each other as well as the outsiders. They are the example of how to lead happy life by cherishing small moments. Boundless is the more than just a book. It's a reflection of Mr. and Mrs. Thakur's beautiful souls through the pages he shares his insights, experiences, and wisdom, offering us a glimpse into his boundless heart. So I would request and insist that this is a must-read book for everyone. And I have been experiencing so many, many good things and learning things in this my work schedule and work life spent with Jyoti Structures Limited. And I'm very happy and proud that I'm a Jyoti Structures member. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anu. And the last speaker, Pragati, unfortunately, you get sort of the squeezed time, but thank you for being there. Pragati heads the Jyoti Structures HR. Exceptionally strong background. She's been about 2 years now, close to that. And Pragati's come from a bunch of very very good background in terms of the companies. This includes Patni, Microsoft, Capgemini, Tata Communication. So we're very glad that she's part of the team as we rebuild. So I would request you to say a few words.
Thank you, Prakash. Good afternoon, everyone. It's you said unfortunately, but I am here with a very beautiful stroke of luck that happened in August of 2023. And it's such an opportunity that I'm invited here to say something about a man as great and amazing as Sir, oftenly called as KRT. And I thought, what can I talk about a man who has that kind of a memory capability? So, sir, the first thing I want to quote here today is that I met you on 19th August 2023. That's my first data point for a beautiful memory, amazing, unbelievable memory person. And I joined JSL in October. It's close to 2 years now. On my day one, and it was a very unique onboarding experience. People do so amazing things when people onboard. But Sir sent me a paper cutting of a quote that read that women belong in all places where decisions are being made. It should not be that women are the exception. It's a quote by Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it still resides on my softboard behind my desk. What I've really observed about Sir is that whenever people interview people, they ask questions and then they evaluate. But I think what I've observed about Sir is he talks and then he evaluates the person's ability to assimilate and process information. So he really evaluates you on your listening skills and how you are able to then engage with him in a conversation, in a dialogue. It's beautiful, and it took me some time to realize his style. It's unique, it's amazing. And when I joined JSL in October 2023, some crunch situations were going on, and one of our leaders was recognized by the industry in a forum for some fantastic achievement that she got. And Sir asked me that we should really give her some reward, some award. And I said, yeah, sure. So as a people's head, I have to propose the slabs, the structure of what we should give. And ladies and gentlemen, believe you me, there were really some tough times we were having. And I proposed 3 slabs: the minimum, the modest, and the best. And next day he calls me and he chose the best to give it to her. So the giver in him is unbelievable, and I think, sir, that's why the abundance has to return. It cannot go away. It cannot. So many things I keep getting impressed, but and I'm the one who has not read the book, so I'm unique on this panel. But I saw him showing one day the drawings that he has done of his old house in Sindh with his own hand, and he's commemorating it. And it's so inspiring, all of us, wherever we are coming from. If we can really commemorate and pass on a legacy to a people in that unbelievable form and design, I think it's commendable. I really kept it with me because I want to do this, something similar for my house, my ancestral house in Gwalior. The meticulousness, and I think I should not speak much about it. The speed of response is maximum is 1 business day, and I think we are all nothing still in front of you to match your speed, sir. The love that so many of us have listened and talked about, I think the most beautiful part is that how you still get energized and draw so much of strength till date. I think that's commendable. I would not talk more. I think it's really time we need to close. I want to really end what I want to say with a very favorite quote from Sir Winston Churchill, is that success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And that's you, sir. And I really look forward to reading the book. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pragati. And again, the panel has so many different insights and perspectives. And patiently, thank you also, all of you, for listening. We'll have a short, 5 to 10 minute Q&A session with my father. In case any of the people in the audience as well, would you like to ask anything to him? And post that, we will break for lunch, and book signing in parallel. So my father, will be seated at a desk, and please come and take your book, if you have time to be here. And then, of course, lunch is on the third floor. Good. So thank you again. I'll request my father to come on the stage. Jyoti, you can sit next to him. Um, is there a hand mic that we can pass around if there are any? Vanshu, you can also come next to, or you can pass around the hand mic. Would anybody please just introduce yourself and then pose the question? And
Hi, I'm Vidhi. Um,
Hello.
Hi, I'm Vidhi. I'm so happy to be here. So, what advice would you give to budding entrepreneurs? What kind of advice would you give? Because we're living in such a fast-paced world, and there's so much information. So we don't know, what to do when, and so some advice from your end, sir. Thank you.
Really, when you go through the book,
Yes.
you'll find that there's nothing there which kind of is in the form of advising and preaching, and I really don't know.
So any kind of
You
tips,
know.
maybe one or two tips which
So,
would help.
so it's just expression of like all the incidents, and like what happened to my life, my Raj's wife, and our company.
Yes.
But I really have. I mean, I'm not built to advise or preach. Like I would like to get advice and preach. So, sorry, I'm disappointing, but that's the way it is.
No worries.
I think
Thank you for your answer.
if you,
Thank you.
yeah, just tell him to hold it closer to the.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way I also read the way he operates is by setting his own example.
Yes.
So a lot of that is what comes out in various ways in Boundless. So in a way, I think while he's built not to tell you anything. I've seen it all our life, and so have the grandkids. But you kind of have to pick up on all the things you see, and that's what I would add to what he said.
Thank you so
Clearly.
much. Thanks a lot.
Who else might have a question? Anybody? Please, happily. Go ahead. Yeah. Are there two mics? We can give them across, and then. Um,
There's such wonderful things being said today, but what I take away from today's thing is that winning is about not being defeated. Having said that, it's easy to say that, but it's difficult to do it. So how do you do it? How do you not get defeated?
how do you not get defeated? Winning is about not getting defeated.
Again, I mean, I don't have to make any effort. That's the way, like I'm built like that. And no, Pramila, I must have carried her in my lap when she was
Late 50s.
maybe 1 year old or something like that. So, Pilu, you have seen me all my life, like kind of. I'm not able to explain, like it's the way it is. Yeah, so,
My memory of him is,
Yeah.
as a little girl, he used to visit my brother and he taught me this song. Nanna munna rahi hoon, desh ka sipahi hoon. And my husband tells me that I write very beautifully. but I give that credit to Kani Bhaiya because he used to write poems and letters to me. And I used to rewrite on that. And that's how I write beautifully today. Thank you for that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste, sir. Hi, my name is Mehak. I am Pragati's daughter. Just a minute before I ask the question is that I don't stay in the country. And when Mama used to like call me, I'm working at Jyoti Structures and this and that, I was like, oh, okay, you work at Jyoti Structures. And then she asked me to come to this book launch. I didn't know what to expect when I came in here. I was just happy that it was at a big bookstore. I get to browse later. But for the past hour, I've been blown away by the way you speak and everybody in your family. It's been an absolute honor, sir. My question is that, so I'm a psychology and media student. I don't know the E of engineering or entrepreneurship, but I read. And I do know that at the heart of every great writer is a brilliant reader. And I'm sure somebody with your experience has read quite a bit. I'm just very curious, and I don't ask a lot of people this question, but anybody who's young, about to step into the workforce and industry, what is like a book or two that you've held really close to with like any lessons or something as you've been like on this journey, you've built a company, you've built a legacy? What is like a book recommendation for a young person?
You know, my answer again would be the same, but I want to tell you that Mehak is one day ahead of me. She was born on 8th of February. So,
Happy
she's
birthday.
one day ahead of me as a date of birth, but I'm sure I've read her writings. She studies in New Zealand, in Auckland, and going by that, I think she's going to go far, far ahead of me as she grows up. So she really doesn't need my advice, you know. Okay?
I think the question was that can you suggest a few books to read?
Actually, I gave her 3 books today.
Okay.
As her birthday gift.
Okay.
Yeah, I have them with me. One of them is Prophet by Khalil Gibran. One is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. And third one is, sorry.
It's Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen.
Yeah, and it's
And
Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller.
Death
All
of
of them beautiful classics. Thank you so much, sir.
Wonderful. So, sir, yes.
My name is Kannan. I am from Bombay. I've been here for the last 50 years. I have been humble service provider to Jyoti Structures since 1989. I know Mr. Thakur and Mrs. Thakur personally. One question I had was to Mr. Thakur is whether you are more compassionate before marriage or after the marriage.
Yeah, very difficult question, but I think Raj added quite a lot to my life. So the answer to this will be after, you know, like kind of.
Yes, Rajiv, please do. Can somebody help with the mic being turned on? Well, I think he's giving you another mic over there.
Actually, I'll start with. Thank you for making me part of this event, Mr. Thakur. I've started. I want to make a few comments and then a request. I don't have a question. I think so. It's difficult to ask a question to a man like you. I started knowing you professionally, I think 15 years ago, 15, 16 years ago, and I do not know when and how that professional understanding and knowing changed into being, at least I always felt being part of the family. So I think it's your quality where you embrace people, you welcome people, and I think everything which I heard today, the 16 years of my knowing you, I think every event which was spoken about you was kind of testimony to what I experienced. So thank you for that. My knowing you and Prakash and the family, I think you are an institution. You are an institution who has to be learned through observation. That's how I've learned. So I know people have asked questions of advice. I think it's very difficult to get advice from a human being like this. You have to observe him. But on that note, it's a request. You should write something more, because lots of us will learn a lot, because everybody may not have the opportunity to observe you closely. I think it will be unfair to all of us if you stop writing. So please do write. So that's the only request. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv.
Thank you,
Very
Rajiv,
well
for,
said.
thank you, Rajiv, for good words. And I just want to tell you that you are not only a part of this event, but you are a part of our lives. We appreciate that. We are richer by your being a part of our lives. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so one more, Kiran, would you like to ask? Yeah. Can somebody give a microphone to? Yeah.
So uncle's and Raj auntie's love story. I am a big admirer of your love story, uncle. So I would like to, and I know how much you like singing songs. So I would like to ask you, which was the first song that you sang for auntie, and also if you could sing few lines for us.
You can put your microphone to you.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, this was, I think, we made first time alone, sitting on the sands at Chowpatty. And it's a Talat Mahmood song, I'll remember it, but if you get bored, just stop me. It was late evening, it was getting to be dark, and it goes like this. सोए हुए हैं चांद और तारे, आज की रात अंधियारी, आज की रात अंधियारी, तुम बैठी हो पास हमारे, सोई है फुलवारी, सोई है फुलवारी, जिन आँखों में लाज भरी थी, वो भी है मतवारी, अब तो इतना कह दो प्यारी, मैं हूँ तुम्हारी, मैं हूँ तुम्हारी, सोए हुए हैं चांद और तारे, आज की रात अंधियारी. Shall I continue one para? एक दूजे को पाके हम तुम बहुत मिले, शर्मा के हम तुम, एक दूजे को पाके हम तुम बहुत मिले, शर्मा के हम तुम, यूं ही रही तो रह जाएंगी, मन की बातें मन में सारी, अब तो हंस के कह दो प्यारी, मैं हूँ तुम्हारी, मैं हूँ तुम्हारी, सोए हुए.
Wonderful. Maybe, this is a good note to pause the question and answer. And it is, no, just stay on the stage. It is his birthday. So, we would be privileged at least that all of you and us celebrate the same as well. The book is, of course, the main celebration, but it goes on a wonderful day. So may I request that let the cake be brought in. And as it's being set up, I think you wanted to say thanks to a few people particularly. And
writing this book had a lot of contributions, Like I said, I'm not a writer, I'm a commercial correspondent and proper. So the most important role that was played was by Atula Ahuja, who's a PhD in editing, and she's a professional editor. And she's the one who's been with this right from the beginning, right from day one. So I'm very thankful to her. She's unfortunately not here today. She sent a long message. She's in Beijing. So somebody will probably read that out and all that. Then I had Manish Purohit. He's from Authors Upfront, which is associated with Crossword. And he's the one who really held my hand, from stage to stage and all that. And of course, Priya and her colleague Ayushi,
Keep it here if you want.
they've all become like a part of the story. I don't have to kind of, there's a lot of understanding built over a period. And Ayushi's colleague, Malvika, who's been making these clips, videos, she's amazing. I think she's a genius, the way she's preparing. And of course, many, many thanks to Crossword people, like Neerav here, I hope he's there. And Janhavi, she's not here, she's Pune based. They've been so extremely supportive. This function could not have been, the way it has been, but for their, amazing cooperation. Jyoti, am I forgetting anybody? You've been, yeah, no. So,
Neil.
Jyoti, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'll add Neil is Neil Raheja. They are the history is that they were part. They were the owners of Crossword. It has changed hands, but he had a very central role to help us to get published through Crossword. So
yes, in fact, he's the one who brought us to Crossword. So yeah. That's a big thank you to him also.
Yeah, Atula, who's the person who helped, has given a one-page note. In the interest of time, I'm just going to close with a paragraph from that. She says it's a proud moment for everyone involved, especially Thakur uncle, who has been truly relentless in his pursuit to publish this book. To everyone here, thank you for celebrating this milestone with him. I hope this book finds a special place in your hearts, just as it did in mine. My warmest wishes to Mr. Thakur and his family on this incredible achievement. So, Atula, thank you. I know you're not here, but much appreciated. So we will now get the cake on stage, and we'll request everyone to join in the celebration. As it is being set up, I see so many faces here, that are so dear to my father and to us. Each one of you are somebody that has, had a light, a lamp or a light lit in our lives. I see Anup, I see Rajiv, Sundar Dada, Deepak. There's people, all of you truly. Zafar's parents are sitting in the back patiently. Nitika, Dr. Divya. Thank you so much. We are blessed that we have you in our world and to be there for this moment. So, we're so grateful, absolutely. And let's bring the cake across. Okay, then candles don't seem to be allowed here, so we will visualize that, and then let's go ahead. And is there a... Okay. Ideally, we would tell my father only to sing because he's the best singer for his birthday. But Vanshika, Alicia, if you all can also come, and everybody can come forward, then come, Nilesh, Urvashi, come. There's a few here. Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you. May you have many more. May you have many more. May good luck go with you and happiness too.
Thank you, everybody, from all of us. Will. um, yeah. Please, there'll be a desk and your books are here. Please come and take the books with his personalized signature. And Rajiv, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, Papa. Tanveer, sorry I missed seeing you. Thank you for being here. Let me turn the mic off, otherwise it will all come on the mic. Arey, Prashant, thank you. I didn't see you till now, sorry. 1 minute. I wanted to give a meet him. Arey, Sunil, I missed. Thank you. Chalo, I'm gonna feed him the cake, but मैं एक बार सबको अनाउंस कर दूं कि so the book signing is here, and if somebody prefers, there's lunch on the 3rd floor at the Good Food Cafe, and if there is a crowd, one can go to the 3rd floor. Please have lunch with us. We would be privileged, and then come back also for the book signing.
Very well conducted.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So sweet. Thank you. So I'm
Because my friends are studying agriculture engineering. All of my friends are planning to become a pilot. I give that to
I'll take a picture with the author, Manisha. Manisha, I'll take a picture with the author. Thank you, sir. Nobody is inspired on here. I am Sorry.
Go from there. Sit next
किताब से रिलेटेड या इनसे
इसको पढ़ना चाहिए लोगों को।
हाँ मैं वो सोच रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं तो